The leader of the House is misleading this House. Mr. Speaker, he submits that the President has met all his promises to the nation. It is not true and it is not factual.
The law is very clear. You see, to educate you on this matter, Minority Leader, the law says that the minister shall, in consultation with the minister responsible for finance, determine the category of expenditure. You see, the assembly,
with time, you'll be exposed. Mr. Speaker, please guide the majority leader to act within the rules. Comment briefly and not to provoke debate. If you want a debate, let's dedicate a time for a debate on the asset.
Mr. Speaker, the minority leader should stop doing what he's doing. Between us, at our level, when you rise up to raise a point of order, let it be a point of order. Let it not be on a frolic of your own, running all over the place. Please, this is not a point of order. At our level, you don't do that. And we don't owe. That is very clear. Mr. Speaker, it is also very clear that Get Fund allocation has also been made and payments made to Get Fund. Indeed, I am informed by some contractors that they have been paid. Mr. Speaker, the annual ritual of senior high schools not reopening because they don't have food has not occurred again. And schools are happily being run. Schools are happily being run. It is obvious that we are doing well in the education sector as well. Mr. Speaker, if there has been a delay in the transfer of the funds to the Common Fund Administrator, it is for very good reason. Mr. Speaker, the assemblies did not exist until very recently. After the election, many of the assemblies too dissolved. Because if you read the law says that the assembly is made of the district chief executive and the elected assembly members and the government appointees. The government appointees had been withdrawn. The DCE ceased to exist. They were no longer in office. So there was no assembly to transfer the money to. There was no assembly. Because by law, the assembly did not exist. There was no assembly. That is what the law says. Mr. Speaker, it is only recently, a couple of weeks ago, that most assemblies were able to elect their chief executives. When they elected their chief executives, then the assemblies were properly constituted to now be assemblies. And the Honorable Minister for Local Government went around the country to inaugurate the assemblies. That is why the monies were not transferred to the assemblies, because the assemblies did not exist. They had not yet been inaugurated by the local government minister. So there has never been any delay. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Majority Leader, Minority Leader is on his feet.
Mr. Speaker, I want to draw the attention of the leader of this House to the rules of this House regarding this particular subject matter. The minister made a statement, and even the rules provide that the minister in his statement should not provoke debate. What the majority leader is doing now is to veer off from the content of the statement and to start his own argument outside of it. Mr. Speaker, there's no problem if there's a need for us to debate on an important subject matter which borders on national development. The Minister of Finance was in this house presenting the budget statement. The President had earlier told us that the famous 24-hour economy policy would find space in the budget. That was not in the budget. The minister is not concerned about how to create employment. Contractors are not being paid, people are being sacked.
You are on a point of order.
24-hour economy.
Honourable Minority Leader, you are on a point of order. What is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I'm coming. I'm laying a foundation. The Minister of Finance was supposed to provide a policy direction regarding the 24-hour economy. He has failed to do that.
What is your point of order, Minority Leader?
Mr. Speaker, I am arguing. My submission is that to the extent that the Majority Leader has failed to limit his comments to the issue raised by the Finance Minister, he is in clear breach of the rules guiding this particular subject matter. Mr. Speaker, why is he not concerned about the failure of the Finance Minister to pay contractors and to address the issue of 24-hour economy to create employment? Why is he not concerned about the mass dismissals in the public sector? As a Majority Leader, all he says is that, and then they have fulfilled the promise. Fulfill which promise? With time, you'll be exposed. Mr. Speaker, please guide the Majority Leader to act within the rules. Comment briefly and not to provoke debate. If you want a debate, let's dedicate a time for a debate on their 6 months of failure and disappointment. We're ready for them, but not smuggle his way in a statement when you failed in your own flagship policy. The 24-hour economy, your own flagship policy. You have failed the people of Ghana.
Honorable
President failed in his own. He said, Finance Minister took it. He said there's a team every day, committee.
Honorable Minority Leader, thank you very much. Honorable Majority Leader, please proceed.
So, Speaker, when the statement was made by the minister, it was made pursuant to Order 91. 91.2. 91.2 is very clear. A Minister of State may make a statement of government policy, and the statement shall be limited to facts which are necessary to be made known to the House. Everything the minister said is factual. Facts about payments, facts about the timing of payments, facts about what the payments are meant for. They were all facts. Mr. Speaker, when you gave opportunity to honorable members to comment pursuant to Order 91.3, which says that a member may comment on the statement and the comment shall not provoke debate. Mr. Speaker, members on the other side, in their comments, raised questions about delay in the payments. They said there is a delay in the payments. Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, I sought to also correct that and put the facts before this House that there has been no delay in the payments. No delay because the first quarter, which has passed, was a period when the assemblies did not exist. They had been dissolved. So he could not have made the payments to the assemblies when they did not exist. The second quarter is now. The second quarter is now. So we just ended. And that is why he has come to report to us that both the first quarter when the assemblies didn't exist and this quarter, he is now making the payment. He has made the payment. One of them, in his comments, also raised issues about whether it was paper payment or actual cash payment. Mr. Speaker, Again, to correct the records and be factual, I have a copy of the letter of the Minister of Finance transmitting the money to the Common Fund Administrator. I have the evidence. So it is not paper money, it is actual cash that has been transferred to the Common Fund Administrator. Mr. Speaker, so they have also transferred it to the various district assemblies. This is factual. This is on record. You can go out and go and check with the Common Fund Administrator and with the assemblies whether the Minister for Finance has indeed transferred the funds to the Common Fund Administrator for onward transmission to the assemblies. These are factual. We want to assure you that the issue of the disability is also within the law, that 3% is for the disabled. When you send only 1 million to the assemblies for a whole year, 3% of that is very, very insignificant. But with this level of transmissions that we are seeing, these gargantuan amounts, these colossal amounts, these impactful amounts, these amounts that can actually change the financial foundation of district assemblies, the disabled will be laughing to their bank accounts. The disabled will be excited because they are going to get 3% of gargantuan amounts of money. So the 3% is guaranteed in the law, and when it gets to the assemblies, the disabled, the physically challenged will get their share.
Honorable Majority Leader, what is gargantuan amount?
When it is big, when it is big, when it is colossal, when some people used to transfer just 1 million, and then others come and they are transferring 20 million. That is gargantuan. This is what has happened, and especially when they are transferring it on time. Mr. Speaker, this whole discussion is about the promise of President John Dramani Mahama to revive our districts. How do you revive districts? By injecting funds into those districts, by making sure they are resourced. President John Dramani Mahama promised to reset this country. You reset the country by resetting the district assemblies. How do you reset the district assemblies? By making sure they get the right amount of financial resources. This country has been discussing fiscal decentralization. Only in rhetorics. The funds never get to the assemblies. President John Dramani Mahama stood in this house and promised us that 80% of the funds, he will make sure they hit the accounts of the various assemblies. And the Minister for Finance has come to report to us that like what he is now known for, a man who keeps his promise, John Dramani Mahama is keeping the promise. The funds are hitting the assemblies. Mr. Speaker, they are hitting the assemblies, and the assemblies now have the resources to revive our economies. Mr. Speaker, this House has an opportunity to discuss fiscal decentralization today. Assemblies are supposed to be run on resources generated by the assemblies. The law makes provision for assemblies to take basic rates and use the basic rates to run the assemblies. The law makes provision for assemblies to collect property rates and use the property rates to run the assemblies. The law makes provision for development levies, for betterment levies. But most of our assemblies do not meet their obligations to go around and mobilize these resources for the running of the assemblies. And they continue to depend on the common fund. This government will make sure that they get the common fund. But we want to urge the assemblies not to forget that what they are supposed to run the assemblies on is the basic rates. It is the development levies. It is the property rates. It is the betterment rates. fundamentally are the resources with which we should be running assemblies and not wait for only the common fund resources to run the assemblies. Mr. Speaker, if you look at paragraph 8 of the statements, paragraph 8 of the statements deals with the past record where only 40% to 50% actually got transferred to the assemblies. And that is what I have just discussed, the commitment of this government to make sure that 80% gets to the assemblies. Mr. Speaker, if you look at paragraph 14 and you see the amount, 6.1 billion going to the assemblies, very, very significant. But Mr. Speaker, what excites me is the guidelines. And I've heard colleagues raise issues about the competence of the minister to issue guidelines. The law is very clear. The Local Governance Act, it says that the minister shall, in consultation with the minister responsible for finance, determine the category of expenditure of the approved development budget of district assemblies that must in each year be made out of amount received by the district assemblies from the district assemblies common fund. The law is very clear. You see, to educate you on this matter, Minority Leader, the law says that the minister shall, in consultation with the minister responsible for finance, determine the category of expenditure. You see, the assembly has its expenditure. They also have their sources of revenue, basic rates, development levy, property rates, betterment rates. What the law is saying is that common fund money will also come to help them. The money that is coming as common fund money, the Minister for Finance and the Minister for Local Government can actually determine which projects should be used, which projects should use that money for. Whilst they can also decide what to use the other sources of revenue for.
What is your concern? Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the House is misleading this House. Mr. Speaker, he submits that the President has met all his promises to the nation. It is not true and it is not factual. Mr. Speaker, this government promised the women banking policy. Only 50 million. Only 50 million. Only 50 million. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, 2, they made a huge commitment to agriculture. If you look at the budget, they allocated 1.5 billion cedis. Of the 1.5 billion, 900 million plus goes into compensation. Nothing for agriculture. Mr. Speaker, he pretended he didn't hear me on the 24-hour economy. In his SONA, in the State of the Nation address, the President promised this House that when the Finance Minister comes, he would introduce the 24-hour economy in the policy. Mr. Speaker, government financial policy outlines its budget for the year. The Finance Minister didn't say anything. The Finance Minister ran away from their own flagship initiative. The issue of taxes. You said you were going to take away the taxes at the port. Apart from the e-levy, what have you done? Mr. Speaker, for you to now rise on your feet to mislead Ghanaians that you've met all your promises.
Honorable
Where is the women banking?
I will give you the floor.
Where is the 50 million? You promised when you were swearing in your deputy ministers. You said there will be some deputy ministers coming the following week. That was 3 months ago. Walk the talk. Walk the talk. Walk the talk. What is happening? Where is the 24-hour economy? The youth,
thank you very much, Honorable Minority Leader.
You promised jobs.
Honorable Minority Leader, thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, I'm concluding.
Yes.
You promised the Ghanaian youth 1 job, 3 shifts. You promised Ghanaians 1 job, 3 shifts. Today, no job for the youth, You come here, the finance minister, instead of paying contractors who have taken loans, businessmen who have taken loans, the road contractors, you won't pay them. You come here, you say we should commend you. You won't pay contractors. You are waiting to pay them after mid-year, and then you say the cedi is stable. We are interested in fluidity in the economy. Finance minister, are you paying them? Businesses are not importing. Spare parts are not available because they don't have the means.
Minority Leader, is that your conclusion?
What business? Are you promoting business? You are not promoting
Honorable
business.
Minority
And
Leader.
then you come and tell us that you are
Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, arrest my case. Rule him out of order. He's misleading the House. The leader of the House is misleading the House.
Majority Leader, you have the floor.
You are misleading the House.
Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, the Minority Leader should stop doing what he's doing. Between us, at our level, when you rise up to raise a point of order, let it be a point of order. Let it not be on a frolic of your own, running all over the place. Please, this is not a point of order. At our level, you don't do that. Mr. Speaker, if I may say, he promised this House that he will bring Ken Oforiatta in May. Where is Ken Oforiatta? Where is Ken Oforiatta? Where is Ken? Where is Ken? Where is Ken? You promised us that you will bring Ken to this House. He came to this House and made a promise. You promised this House that you will produce Ken. You will produce Ken Oforiatta in May. We are in June. This is the 3rd of June. Why is Ken Oforiatta? Mr. Speaker, he should no longer be heard in this House. Because when he makes promises, he doesn't fulfill them. He comes here and makes promises and never fulfills them. And yet he is questioning other people's promises. When you made a promise, did you fulfill it?
Honourable members, honestly speaking,
Mr. Speaker,
I try as much as possible to accommodate leadership. But it is getting to a point that I am being compelled to rule leadership out of order. So please, let's stick to the rules.
Yes. When we make promises, let's keep them. Mr. Speaker, when he promised to sleep at Yoko, by 10 p.m. he left Yoko. He abandoned.
You still...
Another one. Mr. Speaker, this is the man who is talking about people not fulfilling their promises. You promised to sleep at Yoko, and you left at 10 p.m.
Honourable Majority Leader, please conclude. Honourable Majority Leader, please conclude.
Mr. Speaker, let me wind up. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. What excites me about this statement and the guidelines is the category of items that the President is directing must be prioritized. Mr. Speaker, markets are for our women, our mothers. Health facilities, mostly it is our mothers who send children to health facilities, who are the greatest beneficiaries. Educational facilities, it is our mothers who send our children and the babies to educational facilities. So once again, women. Portable water, it is our women and girls who have to travel long distances to fetch water. Sanitation and school furniture. Mr. Speaker, these are items that particularly touch our women. That is why I want to declare that President John Dramani Mahama is a pro-woman president. A pro-woman president. Because he is prioritizing expenditure in areas that particularly border on the welfare of our mothers, of our women, of their children, and the drudgery, the labor, the suffering of our women will be reduced by the expenditures that the assemblies are going to be making. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, when you talk about liquidity in the system, liquidity is when the finance minister releases funds. In this statement alone, the finance minister has indicated that he has released funds to the Common Fund Administrator. He has released funds to the National Health Insurance Authority. He has released funds to the GET Fund. These funds are being injected into the system. So that propaganda that we are not spending is not true. We are spending through the National Health Insurance. We are spending through the Common Fund Administrator. We are spending through the GET Fund. So we are spending. It is not true that we are not spending. And that it is because we are not spending that the dollar is reducing and the cedi is appreciating. Mr. Speaker, we are clearly spending in the health sector. We are spending in the educational sector. We are spending at the local government levels. And Mr. Speaker, I can testify that we are spending because all of us in this chamber receive our salaries monthly on time, and there has never been a reduction. The same way with the civil servants, with the public servants, I have not received any report by government workers that they haven't been paid. I have not received any report. They are being paid promptly. Mr. Speaker, so the propaganda that we have stabilized the currency because we are not spending is clearly not borne out by the statement. The statement points to the government spending on its statutory obligations. Mr. Speaker, on that note, let me commend the Minister for such a statement and once again draw the attention of Ghanaians to the fact that they have elected a government that has promised to deliver and is actually delivering, and each moment that we deliver on our promises, we will come to this House and we will account to Ghanaians and we will make sure that we remain very, very accountable. Thank you very much, Minister for Finance. We commend you for your hard work. The cedi is gaining strength. The dollar is reducing in its exchange rate. The pound is reducing in its exchange rate. All the major currencies are reducing in the exchange rate relation to the cedi. And the cedi is getting stronger. Ghanaians are more confident in their country and their government than they have ever been before. Mr. Speaker, because of the appreciation of the cedi, the salary of the minority leader has appreciated. His salary has appreciated. Mr. Speaker, his purchasing power has appreciated.
Honourable member, please conclude.
He now pays less for fuel because fuel prices have declined. He now pays less for food because food prices have declined. He is living in a better country now. And he looks happy. He is a happier man because of the performance of the Minister for Finance. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much.